Alright, welcome back to round one. So we're on the play, and I've kept this hand. I'll start with planes, and then pass to my opponent. So this is the bit I'm slightly worried about, because as I said, unfamiliar with the client. Yep, Renowned Weaver is fine. It's like playable, I guess. Play a Swamp, because if we do draw Asphyxiate, we'll want to maybe target their 2-drop if it's good enough, which is very unlikely, but it's worth having that option up. This is a fairly good start. We can go Wingsteed Rider into Insatiable Harpy or Tethmos High Priest. It's a shame we don't have a 2-drop. If we had a 2-drop, we could go Wingsteed Rider, Tethmos High Priest, sacrifice our 2-drop to something, Ajani's Presence to get it back. Okay, so this is fine. So the beta client does respond a little bit faster at points like this. Mana tapping is a little bit easier. I still don't think that really makes up for some of the other issues the client has. I'd rather play on a slower client that I found more reliable. But it is definitely improving. If they attack, I definitely don't block, because why would I? For some reason I have my hands hovering over the QWER buttons, because I'm so used to playing League of Legends. My housemate has tricked me into playing it. I can honestly say, don't do it, it's not worth it. It's such a great way to waste all of your time. Part of the reason I've been doing less Magic videos lately is because I've been playing League of Legends and wasting my life away. So I could have played Tethmos High Priest there, but once I've got both these flies down, they need to have something pretty good to stop me. If they tap out for like some breach creature, I've got Asphyxiate. Yeah, I'm so gonna Asphyxiate that. Wow. Okay. Play a Swamp. Target Dawnbringer Charioteers. Yeah. Okay, so it's almost too easy to tap the mana there. As you saw for a second, I tapped both planes without meaning to. Yep, attack both of these. Yeah. So this card would have been a real problem. As you can see, it's very efficient. Okay, Supply Line Cranes is pretty good as well. But certainly no Dawnbringer Charioteers. Probably just targeting itself. Yep. I want this stack to go somewhere else. That's a bit better. Yeah, it's annoying that you have to reposition all the objects in his client, especially because I haven't played with it a lot. No way I'm blocking that, because I have nothing to block it with. Okay. So I don't really have any strong attacks at the moment, so that's unfortunate. This card just really shuts you down. Play that. And go. Tethmos High Priest. Now let's hope we draw something bigger. A bestow card would be pretty good. Celestial Archon, yes please. Even our own Dawnbringer Charioteers. Yeah, there's a lot of things we can draw right now that will do the job. Okay. Let's hope that means that they don't have... Oh, no attack. That's weird. I would have at least attacked with a Renowned Weaver. Oh, I probably would have just blocked with a High Priest. So it's not completely unreasonable. So it's cost 7. I'm not actually going to... Yeah, I'm not going to attack this turn. Because I would like to attack at least with 3 of my creatures, if not all of them. And what's this do? Yeah. So when I pump this, I get to steal the counter of Supply Line Cranes, turning into a 2/4. If I attack, that's a 3/2, 4. Yeah, so if I attack with Blood Crazed Hoplite and Wingsteed Rider, just on their own, they might block a supply line cranes, and then I get to kill it. Time to feed, targeting those two. Alright. First target, second target. Okay. Yeah. So now both my things become heroic. Hopefully they don't have another trick, because then I get to shrink supply line cranes. And my two indestructible creatures will crush theirs. Yep. Take the +1/+1 counter off there. My thing becomes a 4/4. That's certainly one way to get a 2/1. So since I haven't cast anything yet, it feels like they probably don't have a response. No. Report is stone, okay. Not too bad. My thing still doesn't die though, which is good. They didn't accidentally attack, which is bad. I would have loved them to attack there. So still can't attack, unfortunately. But I did manage to counteract Titan to feed pretty well. They do have more cards in hand than me. Just depends what their late game looks like. I definitely have the stronger board position. It's pretty good. I think I still want to target the Blood Crazed Hoplite with this. Okay. So then I get to take the counter back off supply line cranes. And have two strong attackers. (6/4). I think I will attack with Blood Crazed Hoplite now. Then also if I draw a heroic card, this dies, I can get it back with Deathmoss High Priest. Yeah, I'm happy with my board. Nyx Eidolon is just one of those cool cards that's just a normal creature in the early game. In the late game, it's just awesome, like this. Just does a lot. My opponent's thinking a bit there. Oh, they're just going to block and attack? Okay. Fair enough. Still, I'm happy turning their 2/2 into a 1/3 reach. And I also really like this spider token. I definitely prefer the tokens in the old client though, this weird superimposed like reach thing there. Don't like that too much. So yeah, now they can double block, which is kind of gross. Except they can't, because I'm gonna bestow this onto what though? I can put it on here and have a 10 power flyer. Seems pretty good. Okay. Unfortunately, there's nothing really to remove a counter from. I'll target their Ravenous Lucrocoda for no reason. Oh yeah, 11/9. This thing's huge. Now I'll actually attack with all of my flyers, because they can pick up a free kill if they like, but I'm going to deal a lot of damage. I mean, it's quite real. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have just attacked my 11/9. But the way this works, they're actually going to go down to 11 life. Which is enough for me to just kill him with Blood Crazed Hoplite. So they need an answer. They need an answer now. And if they have an answer, hopefully it's something that actually kills the card and doesn't just tap it down, because that would not be nice. This is where Armament of Nyx is really bad. Which is a card I'd consider siding in here. My opponent doesn't have a lot of enchantment creatures from what I can see. They've got a few big green and white creatures. That's what Armament of Nyx is good against. Yep, not surprised. I'm going to block here, because if they Monstrosity, it means they don't really have anything else, and that means they're pretty much dead. And if they just bounce off, that's fine with me too. I'm definitely being too aggressive here, but I don't know. I'm somehow impatient, and I don't think my opponent has much in the way of tricks. I'm going to try to avoid playing this so they don't know what my main color is. Because if I don't reveal this, then they might think I'm on the black plan and play around Doomwake Giant, which I do have, but still, as long as they're not playing around the Dawnbringer Charioteers, I'm happy enough. And it looks like my opponent's mostly dead. They didn't even Monstrosity end of turn. Okay. Fair enough. Well, I think I could have played better there, but overall it was okay. I'm going to bring in the Armament of Nyx, like I said. Probably don't need anything else. Yeah, seems fine. Sort by converted mana cost. Let's see. What do we want? What don't we want? Tethmoth High Priest is a little bit underwhelming since I have very little in the way of removal. Could still be good, but I'm not sure if it's as good as an Armament of Nyx. Now it's important to differentiate, like, it didn't do much in the last game. That doesn't mean it's a bad card. That said, I still think it's not very impressive in this matchup. I still like the idea of comboing with Oreska Swiftclaw, but I think these cards are good enough on their own against this deck that I don't really need to Tethmoth High Priest. And Armament of Viroas, Armory of Viroas makes Oreska Swiftclaw much better, so I don't really want to cut that. I think that's fine. Let's try this. Okay. So we'll almost definitely be on the draw now. Unless something crazy goes on. So you really got to see how good Bloodcrazed Hoplite was in that match. Just really punishes cards with +1/+1 counters on them. That said, I drew fairly well. And my opponent didn't have like that strong threats. Their only real threat, the Dawnbringer Charioteers, I managed to kill pretty early. And even then, they don't seem to have much in the way of heroic triggers either, which is fairly important. Okay, I'm just going to pause for a sec while the opponent decides whether or not to play first or second. Well, we're faced with a pretty interesting decision here. So the opponent's on the play and they've kept 7 cards. There's some good cards in this hand, but do I want to keep it is the question. I'm erring on the side of yes, because if I draw further lands, this hand gets very good. And if I don't, most of the cards in my deck cost 3 or less. I've got a couple 4s. I've got all the double black cards in my hand, so I'm likely to draw double white cards. This hand gets better with lands, and it gets better with spells. That said, it's not very good right now, but I think it's okay. I'm going to tentatively keep, but I'm not saying that's necessarily correct. I think in a competitive environment, I would actually mulligan. Part of my decision is that I don't feel this matchup is that much geared towards high power level. I think just having a consistent hand is good enough to win me the match. My opponent wasn't crushing me very quickly, So being able to consistently cast good things is probably going to win the game. If I felt my opponent's deck was more threatening, I might go a different way with that. Because sometimes you just need more high quality cards and less of them to stand a chance in certain matches. And that's a good draw. I like how here launch a fleet. Oh wait, that's a sorcery. I thought this was an instant. Never mind. I was going to say launch a fleet is a nice combat trick that I can just do to negate whatever my opponent does, but that is not the case. Yep, that thing. Nightmarish End. So this can kill anything. That's awesome. My opponent just didn't attack with the Stonewise guy. Yeah, I think I'll just pass the turn back. So this is the stage where I really want to start drawing lands. Preferably a swamp first. So I can play Insatiable Harpy, then Doomwake Giant or something. But we'll see. I'm probably going to Nightmarish End there, Lucre Coda. Yep. Ooh, no attack. With no attack, I think I'll actually just kill Centaur Battlemaster now. It's a scarier card. Okay. Now I've got an Oreska Swiftclaw. And it seems like they're playing around Ajani's presence a bit. Which is nice, because I'd like them to do that, because I don't have it. Ooh, Nessian Asp is a good card. That's still not a land. So, I like how with Bloodcrazed Hoplite, you can have your opponent's monstrosity creature become huge and then take all the +1/+1 counters off it, but they can't monstrosity it again. Because monstrosity doesn't care if there's counters on it. Monstrosity only cares that it's been activated before. Oh, attacking with both, eh? Well, looks like I'm taking 6. That's unfortunate. Land. Oh, I'm really getting punished for keeping this out. Like, really punished. Brutal. Trying to decide if there's any point in casting launcher fleets. The fact that Ravenous Lucre Coda has vigilance is kind of brutal. So if I attack with both, yeah, not much happens. So I think I might just be dead here. That could be my own fault. So what's going to do the least to get me back into this game? Whoops, didn't mean to click that, but it's definitely not the best card in my hand, so could have been worse. I don't think my hand was even that bad. Like, I've drawn very badly. So now I can block. I think I just need to remove threats from the table. Pretty brutal. So I could have mulliganed that hand there. Pretty sad that I drew a 5-drop, a 4-drop, and a 4-drop after keeping a 3-land hand. But I did also draw 2 2-drops. Yep, now I'm on 6. Drew a land. So what do I do here? I can play Insatiable Harpy and Dawnbringer Charioteers are pretty much interchangeable because I have to block Nethian Asp. Yeah, I'm probably just dead either way. I unfortunately can't keep up Divine Verdict now. I'm on too low a life total. So what's my ideal draw after this? I don't even know. I don't think I have one. I think I'm just dead. It's a matter of just not showing my opponent new cards. Yeah. Like, I've got a hand full of good cards, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to be dead. Yeah. I'm just going to cast this because they've seen it already. And see what my opponent does. Just trying to see if I can bait out some kind of spell, but I probably can't. Yep, I'm dead. Armament of Nyx still seems like a good card. Not much else that I can really say. I think aside from that, the matchup's pretty fine. I'm probably just going to resubmit this deck. Yeah, I don't think my deck's bad. I could bring in Lagomba and Trailblazer, because it blocks a lot of their threats early on. But I think it's probably just not high impact enough. I'm going to be on the play now, so I would like to play first, yes. I would like to keep his hand. It's pretty good, actually. There's a lot of ways I can go with it. Getting turned to a Chrome Sky card is pretty nice. It is a real shame my deck doesn't have any Chosen by Heliod's in it. I would love that card. Okay. Definitely playing Swamp, because once you draw that Asphyxiate, you want to have the option of double blank on turn 3. See what our opponent does. There's a chance I play Ghostblind Eidolon. Yeah, I think I will actually. Let's get in there for 2. Yeah. The Bestow for 6 is pretty expensive. While it's definitely very good, I'm just more excited about actually getting the double striker down. If they do decide to attack here, I might very well block. Yeah, I'm definitely blocking. Get my doesn't land. The question is, do I want to attack with the Eidolon? The answer is probably no. Because they can get very big with these cards over here. Yep. Then play an Oresca Swiftclaw. And pass the turn. Nessin Aspia would be pretty annoying. Unless I draw a swamp. If they do nothing, I'm very... Ooh, that's nice. I'm pretty happy with that. So I kind of want to bestow my Alcide. I think just having a 4/4 flyer is insane. As much as I like the idea of going in on double strike, 4/4 flyer is insane. And now I get to attack with the Swiftclaw too. Yeah, much happier being on the play in this matchup. Their deck seems a bit slower with some bigger creatures in it that are kind of harder to cast. Okay. So that goes a long way to killing them. Reap what is sown post-combat. Alright. Good thing I didn't attack with my Ghostblade. And I do have lethal available next turn if they have no way to block. But if they don't have any way to block, then that's kind of insane as well. I can't imagine a world in which that happens. Not a logical one, at least. What I can do, I can play Supply Line Cranes, putting the counter on my Ghostblade Eidolon. Then that's a 2/2 double strike, deals 4 damage. Got a 4/4 flyer, and we've got 3 from this. Adds up to 11. That's just enough to kill them, but I hardly see that happening. Just see what they have to do. I'll give them some time to think. Even like Nessin Aspia doesn't do that much. Attacking, eh? I'll take 4. I'm 120. I can easily take 4 damage. Yeah, there's not a lot of creatures that come down now that can really scare me. Even their own Celestial Archon, I can make my guy bigger. What? Turning into a time to feed? Yeah, not bad. They certainly get to kill my thing. I can attack back for a fair bit of damage. So they're on 14. If I attack into Voiding Satyr, I think I just attack with everything. See how they block. There's a chance they just don't block, but I think they will. No blocks. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay. And pass the turn. Now I've got a removal spell in hand, 4 creatures in the battlefield. I don't see how this can go wrong anymore. I love Bestow so much, it just plays really well. Like, you have to deal with my threats, but you still have to use up 2 spells to do so. It can be kind of awkward sometimes, but It's just a good mechanic. Okay, Nyx Eidolon. I'm just going to attack with everything. I could try and get tricky with Nyx Eidolon, but I've still got the removal spell. Might as well just use that. Okay. So just going to trade like that. Take 4, go to 3. First strike damage happened. So I wait till after first strike damage, because if they have God's Willing, that means they have to choose black to save it, and then it still dies to white. Not that that really affects combat, but it's kind of nice. Yep, a little bit too late for a Chrome Mastiff, sadly. So we won that match. So I definitely could have played a little bit better there. There's a chance I could have mulliganed my hand game too, but overall I think it went okay. Our deck's alright. Gonna go on to match 2. I'll see how that goes. Okay. Gonna have to bring up the recorder and see you for round 2.